simple to do, and it just takes that little bit of extra effort. Here's a case in point, the quilted lattice stitch. I designed this shawl using a special dyed yarn for a friend, and I couldn't figure out how to make that special dyed yarn shine. It was knocking my brains out, and it seemed like stockinette was the only way to go. Well, you can't take a special yarn and just say, here it is, I used stockinette. So exciting. I found the quilted lattice stitch, and it just adds just enough interest in these plain sections. Let me show you how to do it. This is quilted lattice stitch. It's a nice way to add a little bit of interest to plain stockinette. It's worked over 8 rows, and 4 of those rows are just purling back. You work quilted lattice over a multiple of 6 stitches plus 3. I am working with 27 stitches. I have 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 more is 27. On the first row of quilted lattice, you're going to knit 2, and then bring your yarn to the front and slip 5 stitches. Return the yarn to the back and knit 1 stitch. You don't want this to be tight, but you also don't want to spread it out so much that it's loose. Yarn to the front, slip 5. Yarn to the back, knit 1. Yarn to the front, slip 5. Yarn to the back, knit 1. Yarn to the front, slip 5. Yarn to the back, and the row ends with knit 2. Row 2 is just purling back. Row 3 begins with knit 4. Then we dip underneath that long strand and knit 1 stitch. And that pulls that strand up. Then we knit 5. Dip under the long strand and knit, to pull that strand up. Knit 5, dip under the strand and knit. Knit 5, dip under the strand to knit, and end the row with knit 4. The next row is the wrong side row, row 4, and we're just going to purl back, so I'll meet you in a moment. Row 5 begins with knit 1, then we're going to slip 3 with yarn forward. To the back, knit 1. There we go. Then yarn forward, and we're going to slip 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn to the back, knit 1, yarn to the front, slip 5, yarn to the back, knit 1, yarn to the front, slip 5, yarn to the back, knit 1, yarn to the front, slip 3, yarn to the back, whoops, let's get that back, knit 1. Row 6 is just purl. Row 7 begins with knit 1. Oh, there we go. Then we're going to dip under that strand and knit 1. Now we knit 5. Dip under the strand and knit 1. Knit 5. Dip under the strand, knit 1. Knit 5, dip under the strand, knit 1, knit 5, dip under the strand, knit 1, and then knit the last stitch. Row 8 is purling back, and I'll see you in just a moment. And that's your quilted lattice stitch. You'll notice that your lattice here on the last 8 rows that I worked with you is a little bit looser than the lattice stitch down here. And part of that is because I steam blocked this area before I came back to work this with you. So blocking will help a little bit, even things out. And the other thing is that you need to be careful with your tension so that your stitches aren't squished together when you're carrying that yarn in forward, so you don't have gathers, but also so that you don't stretch things out so much that the loop in front is extra long, and that would make them a little bit looser through here. But these are what these look like when I knit them. It's just a little bit of blocking with some steam, and wet blocking also works really well too. The other thing about quilted lattice is because you are slipping stitches on some of those rows, stitches are not worked on every row, and that means that your row gauge will be a little bit compressed. And that doesn't really mean anything bad, it's just different from regular stockinette.